Thank you for tuning in. This is a live Q&A session. I am going to bring my computer over here so that I can follow along with you and see any questions that might come up as we are streaming. Yay. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Today is live Q&A, ask a question for your realtor, and I'm Odessa with Odessa Kyleman with eXp Realty here in Prescott, Arizona. I have had a few questions that have come in recently to me, and I wanted to just take a minute to answer them here today. And then anything else that comes up, I'm trying to monitor the chat down here. So anything that comes up, hopefully I will see it right away and be able to answer your questions. So the first thing I had, actually a question that came up for an upcoming closing, is how do we manage when a seller, and this is from a buyer point of view, when are they going to be out of the house? Because we're doing a final walkthrough actually 3 days before close of escrow, but the seller is not going to be out until the day of close of escrow. So when you go in to do the final walkthrough, this is typically 3 days before close of escrow here in the state of Arizona. And what you do during that appointment is I gotta move over here, realizing I'm not in the frame as good as I should be. Sorry about that. So what you are doing 3 days before close of escrow is going through the home. And during this time, your primary purpose is to check to make sure that all of the repairs that the seller agreed to do are done, and they're done in what's called a workmanlike manner. So they have to be done to a reasonable standard. And then the other thing you're doing is to make sure the property is in substantially the same condition as when you made the offer to purchase. What that means is that when you bought the house, the yard was manicured. The yard should still be in good condition. When you bought the house, it said the refrigerator was included. The refrigerator is still there. If the seller said they were going to replace something, you can go in and check to see if that was replaced. This isn't a time to find new things. This is a time just to make sure that everything is as it was expected. So when you do this walkthrough, if it is an occupied house, there's a really good chance the seller is still going to be there because it's 3 days before closing. They're still probably packing. There's moving boxes everywhere, and that's okay, because the seller is not necessarily going to be able to move sometimes until the day of closing. But what we can do is, at the final walkthrough, we check and make sure everything looks good, that they're progressing on their way to be ready for closing. And then the morning of closing, we can pop back in there and just make sure before the deed record that they're moved out, everything's clean. The property should be broom clean, so they're not required to deep clean. It's wonderful when they do, but they're not required to. As long as they've taken out their trash, removed their personal belongings, that's when we know that we are good to go. So you'll get the keys after the deed records, which is typically in the afternoon. It's based a little bit on the county recorder as well as the lender, if you have a lender, and the title company putting everything together. County recorder closes at 5. So most closings I see happening between 1 and 4 p.m. So that is the question I had about how do we do a walkthrough when the seller is still in the house. We work around their stuff, and then we verify the day of closing that everything's out and it's good to go. Or sometimes they'll be moved out and there's no worries, and then you don't have to go back and verify. So that is the first question that I had. Let me just see if I see any chats. I don't see anything here. Open panel. Okay. The other question that I had come up recently is, when I submit an offer, what does the seller, do they have to accept it, or do they have to respond? And the answer is no. So when you submit an offer to purchase a home, if it is listed with a realtor, that realtor is required to present the offer. but the seller is not required to respond. If they do choose to respond, they can choose to accept, they can choose to counter, or they can choose to reject the offer. In any situation, there's always the opportunity to go back for ongoing negotiations if the offer is not accepted. So that was one question that I had. What was the other question? Sorry, I wrote a couple of these down and I forgot some of them actually. The other question that I had is, repairs. So in the Arizona contract, you have 10 days to negotiate repairs. Look at when I say negotiate repairs, from the day you go into escrow on a home until the day you decide if you're going to accept it, reject it, or ask for repairs is 10 days. Then the seller has 5 days to respond to that request. They are not obligated to fix everything that you find. I've had some clients feel very strongly that the seller is responsible for certain repairs, and that's actually not the case. What only thing that the seller is truly responsible for is delivering the property to you in the same condition that it was when you viewed it, when you made the offer to purchase, and if they agree to repairs, to do those repairs. But they are not obligated. If you come in and say, look, seller, the roof leaks, you have to fix it. They don't. But then it's your choice if you want to move forward with the contract or not. And that is part of that critical inspection period. So we'll check one more here, see if we have any other questions. I am not seeing anything. Hopefully I am catching everybody. I'm going to go ahead and keep it short. I know that in the past I've had some issues with audio. Hopefully it's better today. If not, we'll continue to work on that. And thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you. As always, please feel free to reach out. Send me your questions. I will be doing a live video every Friday at 10 a.m. Arizona time. That's Mountain Standard Time. And I look forward to hearing from you then, or stay tuned for our next video. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye. Oh, wait. In neighborhoods in the Prescott area that have breed restrictions for dogs, and are there any dog parks? Thank you for your question. And there are not restrictions that I am aware of in neighborhoods in general. Now, you may have a homeowners association that does have restrictions, and that is very dependent on the homeowners association. Sometimes you'll find in condominiums or places where the properties are closer together that they may have restrictions. Sometimes it's based on weight limits. And are there dog parks? Yes, there's actually a few of them in Prescott. The one specifically, I know there's one in Prescott Valley outside of Jasper. I've seen one there, and there is one in Prescott. It's right across on Willow Creek from the Findlay Toyota Center. I'm sorry, not the Findlay Toyota Center. Findlay Subaru, where I bought my car. Right across from there, between that and Willow Lake, there's a beautiful dog park. They actually just remodeled it, and they have 2 sections, one for the smaller dogs and one for the older dogs. And I'm happy to share that information. Hopefully that helps. And if you want the address or directions, just send me a quick text or email. It's odessa@theprescotthomeowner.com. It's ODESSA. Actually, my contact information should be below. And I can send you some information about the dog parks. All right, let's check one more time for questions. All right, and also you asked if there are neighborhoods that have breed restrictions. If there's a neighborhood you're looking into, send that information to me. I can find out the rules from the homeowners association, if there is one, about any dog restrictions. All right, thank you so much for tuning in. I truly appreciate you. You have a good day, and we'll see you soon. Bye.